It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee in time. That's the crappiest intro ever. Welcome to another edition of Coffee Time, the rambling load of old bollocks here on the OnePotChefBlog, where I answer questions sent in by you. If you've got a question that you'd like me to answer in the next edition of Coffee Time, leave it in the comments section below here on YouTube. Now, before I get started, I just want to apologise for the lateness of this edition of Coffee Time. Unfortunately, my entire filming schedule has been thrown out like you would not believe, thanks to the YouTube gathering in Sydney a couple of weeks ago has thrown me out, and I've got a lot of real life stuff going on at the moment, which I'll discuss in another video. But basically, I'm about a week or two late and I apologise, but I managed to find some time today to record, so let's get into some questions. Alright, first question comes from you, Vaughan. And the question is, have you ever made almond butter cookies, and would you ever? I'm allergic to peanuts and want an alternative recipe. I've never made almond butter cookies, but I probably would. I don't know if I've actually got a recipe for one, though. I might have to go and consult my 10,000 books over there and see if I can find one for you. So I'll add it to my list of things to possibly do. What's the next question? My Aussie day. If you have man boobs, do they bounce up and down when you laugh? I do not have man boobs. I have hot rippling pecs, thank you. Hot rippling pecs. No, I'm quite proud of my boobs. Look at them titties. See, most women would be jealous of those, so I love my titties. And yes, they do jiggle a bit when I laugh now I think about it. I never really thought about it before. Next question. Todd Weller, which one tastes worse, Vegemite or Marmite, or are they both so bad it doesn't matter? If I'm honest, I don't really eat either much. I occasionally go through cravings for Vegemite like once every 6 or 7 months or so, and it's usually when I'm low in like vitamin B or something. I don't know, it's like a craving thing, and I'll eat nothing but Vegemite sandwiches for a couple of weeks. I don't know why. But Marmite I've got a weird thing about, because I tried it once as a child and thought it was absolutely vile, and I've never felt the need to try it again, so I should probably try it again just to sort of try it with an adult palate. But I've always gone for Vegemite, so it's an acquired taste. I don't know if you're from Australia or overseas or whatever, but it's kind of something that you generally have to have grown up with, although occasionally you've got one rare person from overseas who tries it as an adult for the first time and then just can't get enough of it. So I say give it a go and see what you think. Next question. Oh, God, it's noise central today. Excuse me while I close this door. Unfortunately, I've got somebody with a power saw on this side, and on this side I've got the Over 80s Glee Club singing at the local community hall next door, which is bizarre because they normally have sort of like your average sort of old-timer songs and things like that, but today they seem to be doing a strange sort of selection of musical theatre type stuff, because they were singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow before, and just before I started recording they were singing I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No. It's a unique experience to hear a bunch of like sort of 70 and 80-year-old men and women singing about Texan prostitutes, but that's my life. What was the next question again? Oh, Stephen3X. Alright Dave, here it comes. If you were stranded on a desert island with no chance of rescue, even with one of the followings, which would it be? Okay. Your iPad with somehow connectivity to the internet, a bunker with a fully stocked kitchen and pantry, a best friend, Orlando Bloom dipped in chocolate, an endless supply of painkillers and happy drugs, your top fans, a malfunctioning TARDIS. Okay, we'll go through, I don't know if I could pick one, but I'll go through each one and sort of give the pros and cons. Your iPad with connectivity to the internet would probably good, but unless I've got a power supply, it wouldn't last very long, because at least that way I could use like to communicate with people, but there's no point in communicating with people if there's no chance of rescue. A bunker with fully stocked kitchen and pantry would probably be the choice, because at least I wouldn't starve to death, at least not initially. A best friend I probably wouldn't choose, because I'm a bit like Jean-Paul Sartre in that one. Jean-Paul Sartre is a philosopher and existentialist from France, and he said that hell is being trapped in a room forever with your friends, and that's very true, because as much as you love your friends and family, if you were stuck with them 24/7, you'd probably eventually kill them. Orlando Bloom dipped in chocolate holds absolutely no interest for me because Orlando Bloom looks like a 12-year-old girl. I'm going to get killed for that comment. An endless supply of painkillers and happy drugs, I'm tempted to choose that one as well. Your top fans, depends if they're edible and covered in barbecue sauce. And a malfunctioning TARDIS, I will never be that nerdy. Oh, he's got another question as well. Who is your favourite Doctor Who and why? I'm not going to read all of them out. Probably Sylvester McCoy, because he was the one I grew up with as a kid, but I kind of like all of them individually for different reasons. It's hard to choose one. What was your favourite TV show when you were a kid? And by the way, you didn't lose this American viewer, thought your accent was brilliant. Oh yeah, from the last video. Probably Doctor Who when I was a kid, and to many extents it still is actually. It was one of those sort of great things that sort of like you come home from school, it was on at 5:30 on the ABC, and it was great fun. I used to enjoy watching that. Next question. Gosh, shut up out there. I don't know if you can hear that on the audio or not. Bloody typical. As soon as I turn the bloody camera on. What are some of your favourite movies? Also, have you had any kitchen disasters such as setting something on fire? I haven't had any sort of catastrophic ones, with the exception of if you go back to when I first started doing cooking videos and you see my original kitchen, I had a gas stove, and I remember this didn't get filmed, but when I was getting ready to film something, I was doing some preparation work beforehand, and the gas regulator on the stovetop blew out, and as I was cooking something in a fry pan, I had this giant fireball erupt from the stove, and it just went whoa like that, and I had to quickly turn it off. And if I had been standing probably about an inch closer, I probably would have had my entire face engulfed in flames, and that's probably the closest thing I've had, but that wasn't anything I did wrong. It was just that the regulator in the stove blew, and I had to have a very strange man who I couldn't understand a single word he said because he sounded like Wurzel Gummidge come round and fix it. But that's another story. What was the original question again? God, I went off the garden path there. What are some of your favourite movies? Coffee time. Big movie lover, so I don't know if I can pick specifics, but I love Quentin Tarantino films, especially like things like Kill Bill, Jackie Brown, all sorts of things like that. I loved Thelma and Louise. I know that makes me sound like a weird sort of person, because like generally it's sort of like middle-aged women who love Thelma and Louise more than most people, but I actually do enjoy that movie. I don't know, there's heaps of movies. I find it hard to pick any. That was from Sweet Candy 55. I don't think I read that out before. The Kiwi Cook. Hey Dave, hey. Hey, there's a lot of hays there. Do you play any instruments? Absolutely none. I have no musical ability whatsoever, which should be pretty obvious from my singing attempt at the beginning of this video. Yeah, I failed the triangle at school, okay? I got an F in triangle. That says a lot. Yeah, I've always wished that I did have some kind of musical ability, but unfortunately it's just not for me, so I'm no good at that. Thanks for answering my question. This is from Ruse Creation. Please note that from now on, if I have difficulty pronouncing your username, please don't take it offensively, and if I have no way of pronouncing it, I'm just going to call you Love, Sweetie, or Sport. I think I've mentioned this before. So, Sweetie says, no, Ruse Creation, I think it is. Hey Dave, thanks for answering my question. Here's another. Do you have any phobias and why? Well, I don't think anybody knows why they have phobias, but I am a little claustrophobic sometimes. Doesn't always affect me, but when it does, it's like I have a full-blown panic attack. The most recent attack was when I was in that hotel in Sydney about a year ago, when it was really small, and when you turn the lights off and the air conditioning wasn't working properly. It was like being inside a coffin, and it freaked me out. So I spent most of the night down in the lobby having a cup of coffee because I just couldn't bloody sleep. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Butterworth 24. David, by the time you read this, it will be well past 9/11, but I still want to ask this question. Where were you when the planes crashed into the World Trade Center, and how did you react? Sad, scared, nervous, etc. I was at home when I was living with my parents, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was actually just getting ready to go to bed. And I turned on the TV because I wanted to watch the late news, and they interrupted the late news with this breaking story about how there'd been an accident at the World Trade Center and a plane had somehow crashed into it. And just as they were about to cut away from it, they were showing the live feed when the second plane hit. And I remember because the newsreader was just absolutely stunned. She was just like, it really flummoxed her there and then. She was just like, oh my God. And that was the point where they just basically went continuous coverage from that point on, because it was blatantly obvious this was not an accident. And I remember when I saw that, I went out and actually, my mum was just getting ready to go to bed as well, and I actually said, turn on the TV, you've got to see this. This is just, I can't even describe it. I was absolutely shocked. And we put it on and we sat there for hours watching the events unfold, and it was truly sort of horrific. It was like, I don't even know if there are words to describe that. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. What's the next question? What is your favourite book besides your own? From Job Art. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a favourite book. I'm not one for reading fiction and things like that. I tend to read a lot of non-fiction type things, and I love those sort of crime books, you know, like sort of World's Greatest Serial Killers and things like that. I know it's schlock writing, but it's good to sort of sit there and, I don't know, read about a good disemboweling before bed. And yes, I do sound like a psychopath, but, well, I probably am a psychopath. Yeah, but all that sort of kind of stuff is really good. Any sort of true life type things. I'm not really big on fiction these days when it comes to writing, although I did find this, it's like an adult version of a Choose Your Own Adventure called Million Little Mistakes. And is it Million Little Mistakes? I think that's what it's called. But basically, it starts out with one scenario in which you win millions of dollars in the lottery. And you have to make a decision. Do you want to stay in your current job or quit your job and start spending money? And from that point on, the story diverges, and then you've got options along the way, and you change sort of chapters and go like that. And it was incredible fun. Some of it's deeply bizarre, but if you see it, check it out. It's a great book. I'm sure it's Million Little Mistakes. Yeah, Million Little Mistakes. Next question. Selena Fraser, do you have any brothers? You said your mum had 5 children, but you only mentioned your 2 sisters, or maybe I have terrible memory and don't remember you saying it. I have, well, actually she had 6 children. My brother died when he was a baby, before I was born. I have 4 sisters, but I only have 2 that I actually associate with anytime soon. It's a long private story, but yeah, so there's only 2 that I actually have contact with. So yeah, would love to have met my brother. Unfortunately, as I say, he died before I was born, but his name was Robert, and yeah, he died in Papua New Guinea when my family were living there. So anyway, what do you cook for your everyday meals? Are they like the ones in your videos, or do you just sit down with a peanut butter sandwich and call it a day? From Evie103. You'd be surprised how often that's actually close to the truth, that. A lot of the stuff you see in the videos, like the savoury stuff, is actually what I'm having for dinner that night. It's just sort of, that's kind of the kind of stuff that I cook. But there are days where, like, I've been filming all day and I just like go, oh, sod it, I can't be bothered cooking. So it's either contacting the local Chinese and getting some takeaway, or currently it's toasted ham and cheese sandwiches in the sandwich maker. That's what we're doing at the moment, because I can't be bothered cooking at the end of the day sometimes. So which is understandable, which it sounds strange for someone who makes a living from actually doing a lot of cooking, but if you get up at like 9 o'clock in the morning and sort of spend the next 8 or 9 hours cooking with cameras and lights and stuff like that, the last thing you want to do is do it again when sort of the sun goes down. So, yeah, peanut butter sandwich. I'll give you extra points for putting sandwich in there. Cooking with Karma. Oh, she hasn't asked a question yet. Hopefully she'll add one later, we'll see. What TV show or songs do you gay out to, and have you ever let one rip in front of people? From Enchantress Lissa. I'm not sure what gay out means. Although... Ooh. I'm wondering if I'm giving away too much information about myself with this one, but let's just say I used to have a very interesting playlist of music which, when I was feeling down or upset, that I would put this music on and just dance around in my room or something like that, just to myself. And yeah, it was pretty gay. I'm not going to tell you what the songs are. I have some privacy. And have you ever let one rip in front of people? I'm assuming you mean let one rip as in fart. Yes, but generally... Well, actually, no, I haven't. I'm gay, and gay people don't fart, and that's the story I'm sticking to. Gay people don't fart. Well, we do, but it's very quiet. Crave Pain asks... Oh, a lot of questions. Okay. Who are your favourite non-cooking related YouTubers to watch? Oh, geez, I've got lots. I subscribe to like hundreds of people. I don't know. The thing is, a lot of the people that I watch on a regular basis actually have cooking channels as well, so I don't know whether or not I should count them. But Chopper79, EQVO4, Karma Girl 74, she's got a cooking channel as well. I don't know. There's lots. A lot of Australian YouTubers I keep tuned into. I'm not sure. I don't know. Too many to pick. I hate picking people out like that, because then if I don't pick someone, they go, oh, he didn't pick me, he's such an arsehole. What is your opinion on the 2012 phenomenon, the end of the world? How to put this diplomatically? Okay, anyone who honestly believes that the Mayans were able to predict the end of our civilization when they couldn't predict the end of their own civilization needs to have their head examined. I also like the fact that they've managed to convince themselves that because a calendar ends, it means the end of the world. Considering that our modern calendar ends on December 31st does not mean that the world ends on December 31st. So that's my opinion on that one. What is your favourite type of music to listen to? Who are your favourite bands, artists, most hated bands and artists? I don't listen to a lot of music these days, basically because like, I sound like I'm aging myself about 40 years when I say this, but modern music stinks. It's all recycled crap, and I miss the 90s, because the 90s was just the gayest pop music in history, and it was so much fun. It was just fun, dancey music that you could play in a pub and everyone would dance to, and well, a gay pub perhaps, but especially my choice of music. But I miss Steps, okay? I'm going to say it outright. I miss Steps. They were ABBA for the 90s, and yeah, there you go. What is your favourite recipe and why? Probably the lemon cheesecake, only because I probably make it more than any one particular recipe on a regular basis, because I'm constantly making it for family gatherings and things like that. And it's a favourite because it's one of my mum's recipes. It was one of her sort of signature dishes, so yeah, that would be my favourite. What is the best way to cook okra? My boyfriend loves the stuff, but every time I make it, it turns into a big slimy mess. I can't help you on that one, because okra is not very well known in Australia, and I've never actually cooked it. I've seen it occasionally here, but I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd assume you stick it on skewers and roast it. I have no idea, so can't help you there, sorry. McIcky says, what is your favourite horror movie? For general entertainment, things. I love the Scream movies, especially the first two. But for just sheer sort of creep out factor, I love those Paranormal Activity. The first one, especially, that was one of the ones that sort of genuinely sort of went ugh, like that when I was watching it. So yeah, I love those. The Chaos Dog, savoury or sweet? Bit of both. I don't know if I could choose one or the other. Probably savoury, because there are so many different ways you can do stuff savoury well. Sweet is always kind of sweet, so doesn't make much sense. But yeah, Telekinetic 1KO Sweetie. Sweetie asks, if you were to choose one dish that would represent Aussie culture, what would it be and why? Australia doesn't have any culture. I'm gonna get killed. Probably a meat pie. Meat pie with a blob of sauce on top served at the footy. That would probably represent Aussie culture. I don't know. I don't know if there's any one dish that sort of does, because Australia's strange because we don't have a particular national identity, because we're a very multicultural nation where people from all over the world have come there and dropped their own influences, especially when it comes to food, that there's no one sort of Australian cooking or anything like that, because unless you're sort of going to have a handful of witchetty grubs or something. So yeah, there's so many different influences. It's hard to sort of call something like an Aussie sort of dish. So I say meat pie with tomato sauce at the footy. There you go. Let's see. Next question. Cozzy K. Cozzy K, I love her. Love her. Want to be her. Do you wear matching pyjama top and bottoms with slippers and robe, or are you more of an underwear t-shirt guy? I take the fifth. No, I haven't worn pyjamas and things like that since I was a kid. I suppose I'm an underwear and t-shirt guy. I love how random these questions can be at times. Okay. Jared Kelso 123. I want to start out with making videos on YouTube and want to get a big subscriber fan base. Would you have any advice that could help me out on the way to that? By the way, since you're not big on salmon, how about dragon, or more realistically chicken? It's a random reference. Okay. The best advice that I can give you, and it sounds like a cliche, but if you try to avoid focusing on subscribers and focus more on the actual videos themselves, you'll find that the subscriber thing works itself out. Basically, people won't subscribe to you if you've just got sort of like, I don't know, a crappy camera phone and you're just doing these sort of weird shaky videos of whatever in the street. If you're actually doing something that's been properly edited together, it's high quality, that you put a lot of care into, people recognise that you've put effort into it and they will enjoy it more, and it goes from there. As for building a subscriber base, subscribers are one thing. Having an actual audience is a big thing altogether. And the best way to get an audience is to be interactive with the YouTube community. Respond to people's comments when they comment on your videos. Respond to other people's videos. Make video responses. Comment on other people's videos. You would be surprised how many people will come to your channel based on what you've written in somebody else's video as a comment. Don't go onto people's videos and go, hey, this was funny, go check out my videos, because that's like, people hate that, and they usually will sort of put you as spam for doing that. But if you put genuine comments on there or something funny, you'd be surprised how many people will click your username to check out what else you're doing, and you get subscribers through that. So yeah, so that would be my top tips for you. So I hope that helps you out. Good luck. Jack Wilkins, still or fizzy? Probably fizzy. I don't know, unless it was coffee, in which case I'd want it still. I don't know. I'd like a bit of both. I'd like still and fizzy. There we go, just to be complicated. Um, Bartholomew. Bartholomew, I think that's how it's pronounced. Just about to make a nice large mug of coffee and get stuck into this video. That's not a question. Why am I reading that out? I'm totally psychotic. My brain hurts. King oh, God, shut up! I don't know if you can hear this or not. I think he's got the bloody lawnmower out now. I can't win. King Vikram, who is your favourite Australian actor or actress, and what is your opinion about the movie Picnic at Hanging Rock? By the way, I will try medication. Good for you. Picnic at Hanging Rock, never watched it. Who is your favourite Australian actor or actress? I don't really know. Probably Georgie Parker. I've seen her in quite a lot of things, like she's a television actress and she's been in various things. I've always enjoyed her work, so yeah, probably that. I don't know. As for actor, oh, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Australian stuff these days, so I don't really know. I don't watch a lot of TV and movies anymore. Since I started doing YouTube full time, I tend to watch more YouTube stuff than anything else, so I never watch like the Logie Awards anymore because I don't know who the people are, so... let's see. Next question. Abrahamic? I'm not sure. What is your favourite dinosaur? And are you for or against pulp in your orange juice? Ideal toppings on a pizza. What do you really have in that coffee cup? You're not fooling anyone. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, what is your favourite dinosaur? I would have to say Diplodocus. Just because I like the name Diplodocus. Are you for or against pulp in your orange juice? I am 100% against pulp in my orange juice, and people who like pulp in their orange juice should be put to death. Ideal toppings on a pizza. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, because I think somebody asked me about a pizza thing recently, and I went to Eagle Boys Pizza recently, and they had this astonishing pizza. It's called a butcher's block, and it has about 14 kilos of meat on it. Like, it's ludicrous. And there's about 17 different types of animal on this pizza, and it was phenomenal. So whatever the hell they put on that is what I wanted would be the ideal pizza toppings. Especially with the hollandaise sauce stuff put over the top. Wow. What do you really have in that coffee cup? You're not fooling anyone. This actually is coffee this time. And I will be honest, last time I did coffee time, I actually had water because I was absolutely sick as a dog. I was getting over a bout of the flu and a bit of gastro, and I didn't want to have coffee because coffee was provoking certain reactions that I really didn't want while I was sitting in front of my computer. So I thought I fooled everyone quite well. Next question. Are you a morning or night person? I would guess night. And have you ever had to act quickly in an emergency? What did you do? That's from Jill M. de Jesus or Jill M. de Jesus. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sport says... I am very much a night person. Morning person, never, never, never. I've never been a morning person, but I'm like wide awake owl person at night. And have you ever act quickly in an emergency, and what did you do? I don't know. I have, but I don't really want to talk about it because it was regarding my mum. So yeah. Other than that, yeah, I don't think I've had sort of emergency situations other than that, so... I would imagine I'd keep rather calm in emergency situation, because I've been in a few sort of tense situations, shall we say, over the years, and I've never fallen apart yet, so... yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, Nonny Vid. Mr. OnePotChef, I noticed that you tend to lean toward the screen when reading your fans' comments. I just thought you might want to get your eyesight checked at a store with glasses. I only mention this because I went for glasses and made a difference, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I lean forward for two reasons. One is I actually do have reading glasses. It's just that I find them extremely uncomfortable to wear. And I generally don't really need them because the computer is right here. I tend to lean forward because I've got a crap chair at the moment, and I kind of lean forward because if I actually sit up like this, like I have to adjust the screen and that just doesn't seem right, so yeah. But it's also because I've got bad posture in my shoulders, so it's not because I can't see the screen, it's just, yeah, I'm sort of slumped forward like this. I'm a bit like Mr. Burns, I'm getting a hump. MRMV Reyes 1. Love. I'm thinking about visiting Australia. Which beaches would be the best to swim at? I heard you have jellyfish that could kill you instantly and I don't want to die. I'm coming from West Palm Beach, Florida, so the beaches here are pretty nice. I'm not really a beach person, to be honest, because I have very fair complexion. Well, most of my complexion is fairly fair. I find that if I so much as sort of think about the sun, I get a sunburn, let alone actually going out in it. We do have jellyfish that, well, it doesn't kill you instantly, but it would certainly kill you, called the Portuguese man of war, but they only come out at certain types of the year, so generally they have notifications on the beach, like they put signs up and have lifeguards and whatnot saying whether or not the jellyfish are there, but generally if you stick to a patrolled beach with yellow and red flags, lifesavers and things like that, you should be pretty safe, there won't be an issue. I think it depends on where you're going in Australia, because I don't know every beach in Australia, but if you're coming to New South Wales, it would be any of the beaches down in Sydney are absolutely beautiful. Things like Bondi, Manly, that sort of area. So yeah, good luck with your holiday. I hope you enjoy it. Next one. That's not a question, that's a coded request with a smack in the face. What's your favourite kind of alcohol or type of drink? From Austin3131. I have a lot of favourites. My general standard is vodka and tonic. I don't know why. It's one of those weird grown-up drinks that virtually nobody likes these days, but I've always loved it. And the reason I liked it initially is that I ordered it once, and I was in a nightclub, and it had all those fluoro, you know, those black light type things that make everything think like all your dandruff glow in the dark and all that crap. But for some reason, there's some kind of interaction between vodka and the tonic water that makes it glow blue under those things. And I remember when I was in the nightclub and I had that, and I was getting a lot of attention because my drink was glowing blue. It was weird, and everyone wanted to know what it was. And yeah, got me a bit of attention that night, and that was a good night. But anyway, so yeah, vodka and tonic. Anything with cranberry juice in it. I'm kind of addicted to cranberry juice, like a vodka and cranberry or something like that. I don't know. I must admit I don't drink a lot of alcohol these days. I actually went through a period of about 2 years where I couldn't physically drink alcohol at all because I kind of developed some kind of intolerance to it or something, and every time I had even the smallest amount of alcohol, like even if I just had like a swig of mouthwash, I became violently ill. So I've only recently started to be able to drink alcohol again. I recently bought a bottle of Grand Marnier, and I've got it in the fridge, and I'm slowly having a bit here and there, and it's beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, I would say vodka and tonic. Let's see. Sprint King 76. Let's see. Oh, okay. This might take a bit of explaining. I shared the Nigella vid with you on Facebook. They put a video up. It's a video of different bits of Nigella Lawson's cooking shows sewn together to make it sound like she's talking dirty. How would you feel if someone created a similar version of your show? What would you call that show? I'd find that incredibly funny if someone actually bothered to take the time to edit bits of my cooking videos together to make me sound like a porno actor. So that would be kind of funny, actually. I'd enjoy that. What would you call that show? Oh, God. The porn chef show, maybe. I don't know. The Austin 17. Have you ever considered starting a cooking channel? Nah, cooking's for puffs, mate. Liberty Devil. Do you like or do any sport? No and no. No, I'm not really big on sport, obviously, because of my moves. I don't want to lose them. No, I've never been really big on sport. I don't mind watching the footy occasionally, but it's not for the sporting aspect. It's more for the transparent footy shorts, but that's another story. My coffee's going cold. What are we up to time-wise, just out of interest? 35 minutes, good grief. Okay, better keep going. Questions. What is your favourite cereal? Do you follow any food blogs? Okay. Favourite cereal? I don't really eat cereal a lot because I'm not a breakfast person, and I know a lot of people are going, oh, but it's the most important meal of the day. I don't care, because ever since I was about teenage age, like 13, 14, I've physically been unable to eat first thing in the morning. It makes me feel ill all day. I don't know what that is exactly, but I've always found I have to wait till at least 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning before I can have anything, and it's always something small, and it's... Yeah, I'm not big on cereal, but if I do eat cereal, I tend to eat it as a snack. And I like Nutri-Grain. I know it's really bad for you, it's full of sugar and full of salt, but damn, it's good. And a bit of Wheat Bix, yum. I used to have that as a hot drink. I don't know why, if that's normal or not, but I used to put 2 in a thing with hot milk in it, and it was, oh, yum. I sound totally demented, whatever. Do you follow any food blogs? Not blogs as in text blogs, no, but I follow a lot of cooking channels on YouTube. I don't think I could sit and name them all, but it's, yeah, I love to see what other people are doing with cooking and whatnot, so I go through them. Which shows do you like to watch? This is from Grapowski? I think it's Grapowski. Which shows do you like to watch? Do you prefer comedy or drama? I like a bit of both, comedy and drama. I don't know. I like Glee. I've been watching that a lot recently. Big Bang Theory. I love that show. That's so funny. I don't know. All sorts of different things. Too many to name, I think. From, oh god, another one's complicated. Ajer Heresy 2? Sweetie. Can you come to Canada in the near future, and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego and Waldo? I think Carmen Sandiego and Waldo are in fact the same person, because you never see them in the same place at the same time. Can I come to Canada in the near future? I would love to come to Canada. Unfortunately, Canada is practically on another planet, and travelling that far costs a lot of money that I do not have. So unless someone would like to buy me tickets and accommodation and a ritzy hotel, I would be happy to go along with that. But yeah, I'd love to come to Canada, because I've seen various sort of documentaries about food and things like that in Canada, and I'd love to check it out, especially sort of the French sections like Quebec and whatnot, because I've seen some of the food. It's like, wow, that looks awesome. I want to go and taste that. So yeah. Elise Sherwood? Sport. Do you like to watch Big Brother? Rumours are it's coming back to Australia. I did like to watch Big Brother when it was on in Australia. I love to watch the US one. I managed to get a couple of seasons on DVD off eBay, and it was fantastic. It is coming back to Australia, but chances are, if it's on Channel 9, it's going to be crap, because Channel 9 couldn't produce anything. They're just garbage these days. But I'll give it a go and see what it's like. But I think it's kind of, unless it's going to be changing its format quite considerably, I don't think it'll work, because the Australian version was never as good as, say, the US version. The US version was brilliant. Let's see. Oh, this isn't a question. It just says, David, you laugh a lot. That's really healthy. You're going to live an awesomely long life. God, I hope not. No, stop laughing. I'm going to live longer. What's the thing? What type of music? Oh, this is from Pearly Pop. What type of music do you listen to? What are your... Oh, we've already done that one. You said you preferred gas to electrical stoves. Why? I mean, aren't gas stoves more dangerous? Well, if you ignore my story about the exploding gas regulator and Wurzel gummidge from earlier, they aren't as dangerous, but I mean, you could just as easily get electrocuted in an electrical stove, but the main difference is that when you have a gas stove, the heat is on instantly, like that. You switch it on, it's on. Where electric ones take forever to heat up, and like boiling a pot of water can take 20 minutes on some electric stoves. It's shocking like that, so meh. Let's see. What's your favourite YouTube gathering you've been to so far? From Wish Marie. Oh, I don't know. I've enjoyed every one I've been to so far. The first one, I was probably because it was the first one, which was in Sydney in 2008, I think. I didn't enjoy it as much as future ones, mainly because I was so nervous, because I'd never been to a gathering before, and it was so strange meeting a whole bunch of people that I'd never met in real life before, but somehow I seemed to manage to know them anyway, so that was a really confusing experience. That being said, the Brisbane gathering was phenomenal. I had so much fun at that. I got very, very intoxicated that night on the Saturday night, but that was a great weekend. It was so much fun because that was one where I wasn't nervous. I could just relax and enjoy myself, and that's what I did. So it was a great time. This one over the last couple of weeks ago in Sydney, I enjoyed parts of it, but unfortunately it was more the fact that it was such a busy weekend because there was so much on that I just didn't get a chance to sit back and relax as much as I would normally get to do at a gathering type weekend thing. So I think Brisbane sort of beat that one slightly, but there was so many people at the Sydney one. I couldn't believe it. There was heaps and heaps of people. So it was a great weekend, and I thoroughly recommend YouTube gatherings to anyone. Jackpot, how heavy are you? I have no idea. I do not own a set of scales because I believe that the only thing they weigh is your lack of self-esteem. So I am as big as I am, and I'm quite happy and healthy with that. So Hadasabit22, sweetie, how do you like your coffee? In a big mug with a couple of sugars and a splash of milk. Stone cold. Could you do a vid on a cooking budget for a week? Minimal, like 100. If you mean doing multiple things in one video, I probably wouldn't do that, because the one thing that I try to do with my cooking channel is to try and keep things to a minimum budget-wise anyway, and I try to keep the videos short because if they're too long, people get bored and they click off to begin with anyway, or they just won't bother to watch them. Because I know, I must admit, I'm like that myself, where if a video is like sort of 14 minutes long, it has to be something I really want to be watching before I'll seriously click on it. So I try to keep my videos around the 3 or 4 minute mark. But I'm tempted to do like maybe a week of budget videos or something. We'll see, like specifically budget videos. I'll think about it and see how we go. Ray Grand, try doing Polish. Oh, there's Polish word, okay. Goltabiki. Goltabaki? Is it an L or a T? I can't even see it. It's a weird one. Gotabki? Gotabki. It's not even close, is it? Everything in Polish is weird because everything is spelt ekel fekel and pronounced kakubra. So, like, it's too confusing. Let's see. Next question. Heckle feckle. Oh, God. Yeah, I blame Dinner Ladies. If you've never seen Dinner Ladies, you have to watch it. It will shock you to death. Have you heard of Come Dine With Me and would you go on this show? Yes, we've got an Australian version of Come Dine With Me and it's absolutely hysterical. I would probably never go on it because I'm not much for entertaining. Like, the one thing I've always found with entertaining and stuff is that you've got to be sort of one of those people who can seamlessly go from sort of being life of the party to sort of gourmet chef all in one go, and that's definitely not me. I can be one or the other. I can't do both at the same time. And yeah, I'd rather be at a dinner party than throw a dinner party. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I don't think I'd go on it. Have you ever fired a weapon in your life, and do you... Oh, sorry, the last question was from Laura Lizzie07. I should have said that. Next question is from Mr. McGangbanger. That sounds interesting. Have you ever fired a weapon in your life, and do you agree with what the Australian soldiers and other armies are doing in Afghanistan? I have never fired a weapon in my life. Never touched a gun or anything like that. Mainly because they're just not very common in Australia, like unless you're a farmer or something, they're just not readily available. As for what the Australian soldiers and other armies are doing in Afghanistan, I have nothing but praise for armed forces because they're doing their job. They do what they're told to do. They are doing it pretty well. I think that if there's any disagreement about what's happening over there, it should be with the politicians, not with the soldiers, because the soldiers are just following orders and they're doing it very well. So I personally don't think we should be involved in these conflicts because, frankly, it doesn't have much to do with us, but I'm sure I'll get angrily shouted down about that. But, yeah. Plus, soldier uniforms. Hot. Next question. M. Wrangler 1. Pirates or ninjas? Ninja pirates. Gedebage. Sweetie, have you ever thought of developing a phone app in addition to your cookbook? No, because I wouldn't have a clue how to do that, but I haven't actually announced this yet, but I may as well do it now, is that I'm actually in the process of getting my cookbook added to the Apple iBook store. It's currently going through the approval process. I've kept it quiet because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, but it looks like it's going through soon, so it'll be on the Apple iBook store for iPhones, iPads, all that sort of stuff. And it's also going on to Barnes & Noble's Nook bookstore. That's going through approval on that as well soon. So hopefully I won't need an app because it'll actually be available through the bookstore anyway. So, coming soon to a mobile phone near you. Let's see. ASM Jonas. Have you ever thought of coming to Norway? Please give a shout out to ASM Jonas. Hello, ASM Jonas. Go and, subscribe to him or... yeah, I'll be sad. Is that a shout out? I hate doing shout outs. I'm never very good at them. Pardon me. Have you ever thought of coming to Norway? I would love to go and check out places like Norway and Sweden and all that sort of area. Mainly because it's so completely alien to what I know. Because, I come from Australia where it's, sunny and hot all the time. And then you go to Norway where, I don't know, it's like snowmen and ice. I don't know much about your country, to be honest, and I'm probably falling back on stereotypes, so yeah, but it just ponds apart. It would be a completely different experience. I would love to go there. So it'd be fun to go and see. Let's see. Holy crap! Spring King 76 is back with a joke which is disturbing. Okay, cover your ears if you don't want to hear this. What's the difference between a freezer and a vagina? Your meat doesn't make a farting noise when you take it out of the freezer. He asks us if I've got any funny cooking jokes. I don't. Nothing that compares to that. Okay, Cooking with Karma is back and with her normal demented stuff. I'm looking for a gift for my mum's birthday and can't decide between the double-ended dildo or the studded anal beads. Which do you prefer? Ha ha ha. How do you come up with this shit, you lunatic woman? Oh, I would say get your mother both and don't be so damn stingy. There we go. um, let's see. What songs are on the soundtrack to your life? From Monchiquito. Monchiquito? I think that's right. Oh, God, I don't know. It depends what mood I'm in, I guess, because like I think everyone goes through different periods in their life where they sort of like listen to sort of where they're sort of in a very good place or in a bad place or whatever. And I'm kind of in the middle on that one at the moment, so I'm not sure. I'm never good at naming songs and things. I can never pick them out of the air like that. So I'd say I'm in a classical period at the moment. Sort of a bit of Mozart maybe playing in the background. That'll be my soundtrack. Are you superstitious? From K-Pots1. Am I superstitious? Certainly not. Next question. A Jersey 2. I notice your accent is a little different from Nico's, Dave Couch, Tabloid Junk. How many different accents are there in Australia? My accent's probably different because, well, accents are different across the country. I don't know if there's any specific number of them, but Nico's is different because he's from the West Coast and they live in sandcastles and all talk very fast. Dave Couch is from Queensland and they all add A to the end of sentences, like, oh, it's going to rain, eh? They're like Canadians. Tabloid Junk, Sydney, so, yeah, Sydney accent. My accent's probably more sort of influenced by the fact that I've got sort of British and Scottish background, so I've got a bit of a muddled accent sometimes. But, yeah. Next question. Can you please make Jamaican beef patties? I have no Jamaican beef to make patties with. What's your worst combination of food you have ever eaten? For me, it was chicken legs dipped in Nutella. Mind you, I was 10 at the time and really stupid. I don't think I've ever eaten anything that compares with that one, to be honest. No. Chicken legs dipped in Nutella? Are you... Oh, my. That'll give me some nightmares. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had anything that was that vile that it blazoned on my memory. I don't think so. No. I can't say I'm that wildly experimental, so... did you ever watch the UK Celebrity Big Brother? No, we don't get it over here. Darren Lyons was in it. Mr. Paparazzi is Australian, has fake abs. Do you know him? Oh, yeah, we saw that in the news. He's what I call a professional Australian. They're the ones that nobody in Australia has ever heard of, or they haven't heard of them in a very long time, but they sort of become famous overseas for being Australian, and he's definitely one of them. The fake abs looked ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you've got a belly like me and you've got these weird lumps on top, it looks like you've got like a cluster of cancer cells, let alone a bloody six-pack. So, yeah, and do I know him? I know him from... I don't know him from anything, actually. I know him because I know him from being famous, supposedly. He's one of those people who are famous for being famous. So, yeah. Spring King 76 again. What kind of student were you at school? Tell us the story of your favourite teachers and mentors. Could you please do it in sock puppet format? No. I've got to wrap this up quickly, so I'll quickly answer. What kind of student were you at school? Pretty average one, actually. I wasn't like a major nerd. I wasn't really dumb. I was just like an average person at school. Next question, Alpha Kitten. What is your favourite flavour of cheesecake? Lemon. Love my lemon cheesecake. The Scottish Gamer. Do your best Scottish accent like, "You're right, mate." I can't do a Scottish accent. At least I can't do a convincing one because every time I tried to do it, my mum was Scottish, and the only time she ever had a Scottish accent was when she watched an episode of Taggart, and then she'd sound Scottish for 2 weeks afterwards. But anytime I try to do a Scottish accent, it sounds like I'm trying to make fun of people with Down syndrome, so I'm not going to do that. But I always had this idea that Scottish people were only Scottish if they said "I Jiminy" at the end of every sentence. Hello, I Jiminy! Oh, Mum, please don't come down and kill me from heaven. Next question. Hi, Jiminy. Oh, I can't merely say Jiminy. Oh dear, next question. Have you ever eaten food cooked by someone else but you didn't like it but you couldn't tell the person in fear of offending their cooking? From the Pashal Candle. Yes. Oh God, this has happened before where I remember a certain person who shall remain nameless who tried to make a particular dish with beef in it, and it was like eating old boot leather. It was, I don't know what the hell they did to it. It was foul. And I'm there sort of chewing for a fortnight to try and get the first mouthful down, and it's lovely, yes. Yes, it was terrible. So yeah, unfortunately sometimes, so I think that happens to everyone, where sort of you have to be polite when you don't want to. CatFreak190. What is the time? This is the last question, by the way. What is the time as you are recording the latest episode of Coffee Time? It is Thursday the 20th of October at 12:03 PM. So I have been recording now for 56 minutes. This is the longest one ever. Okay, time to wrap this up. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you to your fun and games. As I said before, if you have any questions for the next edition, please leave them in the comments section below. I am going to now go and edit this insanely long video. And by edit, I mean cut off the beginning and the end and add on that horrible singing. Okay, gotta go. Love and kisses to you all. Mwah. Okay, bye-bye.